every time I go out there, there's an unknown, and every time I go out there, there's a sense of being humble to the nature, to mountain, not knowing what this mountain is going to throw at us, because despite it being a beautiful day now, in 4 hours you can be in ice rain or in hail or in thunderstorms. You can have no visibility, and it's out of your control. You know, we just saw with this weather that just passed that we're actually very small in this universe as human beings. Nature always wins, and if you don't respect that, you're going to get hurt. If you do respect that, and you're prepared, and you respect nature, and you heed the warnings, you'll survive. And we were made to survive. We were made to play in these mountains. That's how we were created and designed.
John Michael was instrumental in getting the farmers involved right in the early stages. What started from him running the route alone, and sort of over the Christmas New Year's weekend, I remember well John Michael running from Lady Grey to Wartrail and visiting friends there. I think it slowly built, and I think the farmers actually realized the potential of the run for the community.
So, the farmers in and around Lady Grey from here all the way to Wartrail are kind enough to sort of lend us their land for the day. And it's some of the most beautiful, unspoiled terrain. There are no paths, so you follow cattle tracks, and it's really a privilege to run. So we're very thankful to the farmers, and I mean, they even feed us when we get to Wartrail. So that's very kind of the studies there.
The country club, Lady Grey Country Club, plays a large role in the success of this whole race. Me and my wife Elsie, we've been involved there for, I would say, the last 15 years, with all the help of all of the community. It is a small place, Lady Grey. It's a collective effort between the country club and the Lady Grey Arts Academy to make this whole thing a big success. This year we've had almost 550 people having supper at the Lady Grey Country Club, so to have that really it takes an effort.
This race is not only about us, it's about involving a whole community, and I think that's quite key to the race. We've put in quite a lot of processes. We created the Skyrun Conservancy with all the farmers. We have them involved in our safety, we have them involved in the accommodation, they supply all the food. So there's two main communities that are heavily involved, the community of Lady Grey and the community of Berkeley East, Wartrail, farming communities, and these people play a fundamental role in the success of the race, but they obviously also there's a huge economic impact into the region with a race like this. So yeah, it's a win-win situation, and we're constantly working with our partners to make the race better. We've just spent a lot of money on new facilities at the Wartrail Country Club, more toilets, more showers, so upgrading our facilities on an ongoing basis so that we can bring a better experience to people doing the Skyrun.
John started Skyrun by trespassing the land. That was his claim to fame. One day we on the mountain, I was moving stock or something. The next thing we check this oak missioning across the mountain. Stop this oak, it's like old Rambo, it's like, in the middle of the mountain. Who are you? Where you going? Kind of thing. No, I'm just running, This oak just runs everywhere. It's amazing. And he's like, he starts work, he runs to the next farm, and he comes back for lunch, and he runs back again. I was like, John, no, seriously. He doesn't know that the wheel was invented. He runs everywhere. And he's covered these mountains probably like few people ever have or ever will.
John Michael Tours was heading off to Iraq to do military work there, and he didn't know anyone else that would take this event on and develop it, and he asked me if I'd be interested, and I was jumped at it for some weird or crazy reason. It was maybe like a calling, and then a year or so down the line I met up with Mike, and then we started Pure Adventures.
So we have 3 minutes before we get to 21st edition of the Skyrun Wilderness. Right away to all the faithful guys, yellow, black and yellow. Let's get ready to them. It is going to be a thrill. It's going to be a great one for each and everyone. We're all going to become Skyrunners.
Yeah, our farm's name is Helvellyn, and I think it's from the Greek mythology. Yeah, that's the first farm on the route, just beneath the tower. The first ladder you cross over the border fence, then you start on our farm. I've been farming there since 1981, was born there on the farm, farming first with sheep and then with cattle, raised 5 children there. Yeah, that's my livelihood. The farm Helvellyn has been in our family for 3 generations, since my father started there in 1934.
If they stop to take a moment, they'll see the beauty of Helvellyn.
This is Ossa, which actually joins Olympus, which is CP2. So literally from where we're sitting here today, you can actually see CP1, CP2 and CP3. Yeah, sort of over the years, we've sort of become responsible by default, I suppose, supposed to be, sort of help with evacuation and medical backup and whatever it might be. And we certainly have had our fair share of drama over the last 20 odd years of Skyrun. I do Skyrun by no choice. Skyrun I do when I fight fires or I'm chasing livestock. So I'd like to get a list of all these acts, and when there's a next fire like we've had here 2 months ago, I'm going to call all of them and say come train. We run 2 components. We run what we call nutrition farms, which is the farming aspect, and that's cattle and sheep, and then we combine that with ecotourism as well with the Lammergey Highland Reserve. So there's 2 components of what we're involved in. But farm life, I think, is very misunderstood. I think a lot of people romanticize farm life. They don't realize when you're dealing with nature, it's everything but fair, especially when you're dealing with animals and all this kind of thing. But it certainly is. It's a lifestyle, and it's a reward that you can't buy with money.
When your heart is full of nothing at all, and your body runs, you forgot what for your eyes reflect light.
Sky walk, or you might call it wasn't necessarily a run. We undertook in 1959. My brother was 12, he's now in Lady Grey, and one of our athletic school teachers at Queen's College in Queenstown we became very friendly with, and he came up here, and myself, Malcolm, my brother, and he walked from Snowdon at that time, not from Lady Grey, and we walked all the way to Rhodes. We spent 2 nights on the mountain. There was no official path or trail. That in itself was interesting, because during that period we didn't have the hiking gear that you've got today. My boy still said today to me, he said all he could remember is that he had constant sore feet and blisters.
You've got to hold on.
And then John Michael Torres joined us for a while, and he sort of put it on the map. Essentially, it's a border fence line. At that time, it used to be part of the Ciskei in the 50s and 60s. Then in the 70s, it became part of the Transkei. So the route was, my mom actually mentioned to me many years ago that they used to ride the Skywalk with horses. So essentially, it was a patrolled area with horses by the police. And there were various staging points, and those still exist. At Snowdon itself, in fact, there's an old police barracks there. So the route, to be really specific, was actually a police patrol route, and that had functioned from early in the 1900s. She often spoke about going to have lunch with the sergeant that lived at Snowdon. They used to ride their horses. So if one goes back a little bit, then it's not that it was not, there was no movement, but it became sort of a sport afterwards. 3 or 4 years ago, I can't remember when, we had very poor weather. We had to take 30 or 40 people off the mountain, and it was quite an experience because people panic. And I'll never forget, my Jeep slipped off the road. It was wet, raining, and I had a tractor with like a tray behind. And it's like all 40 wanted to get on at the same time and begged me not to leave them behind because they were going to die. I think for most people that are not aware of the nature of the mountains and the climate, they might think you can play games, but you can't.
My personal least favorite section on this route is there's a little climb before you get to checkpoint 4 Avoca.
The last climb right up to Avoca Peak, there's like 50 or 100 meters, which is kind of like a straight up, which sucks.
You walk on this ridge, and then there's this little kick. It's not far, it's not extremely steep, but it's just at a point in the race where you are moeg of climbing, and you still got to climb to Avoca, and this little lung buster kicks up there, and I don't know, maybe it's just like my nemesis, but when I see that, I just wanted to get it over. 4, 2, 8.
From a beauty point of view, I mean, like obviously the Dragon's Back and the section just after Avoca is just iconic. I mean, for me, on a beautiful day like today, you can see all the way into Lesotho. You can nearly see down to East London. I mean, it's just crazy beautiful. So for me, that is an iconic part of the route.
I love running across the Dragon's Back, and especially if I've got a good tune going. But that's normally where I put my earphones in and I just lose myself and I go.
being on the route, Belloch is the first one that you can actually get to by vehicle, and the rest is all high up in the escarpment, and nobody can get there unless you've got a 4x4 or by some other means. Here you can actually get to here, and then the next one is the Wartrail Tennis Club. They are the only two places that you can get to see your person, your friend or your husband or whoever it is running. At the cave we obviously prepare a meal which is Margie's pretty well known for now, her potjie kos, and she makes a meal which is, we start at about 12 o'clock, we've got to get everything going, and then to feed roughly 300 people odd by the evening. And then there's other activity, the people that come to watch, there's a nice swimming pool down the bottom, people do, hike around, look around and see what else there is to see. It's quite a nice festive day, and all the couples sitting around and they're just enjoying the outing. Last year we even watched the rugby test up in the cave. They were as far as showing that, so there's lots of interesting things which we can actually do, yeah. We stock farmers, sheep and cattle, red meat being our most important source of income, and then we obviously have quite a large component of wool. Trout fishing is something that people come and do. They're very keen on trout fishing here, and we are quite unique in that we have brown trout as well as rainbow trout in the same river, and makes quite interesting fishing. The horrible one is the Belloch Wall. I mean, having done 60 k's from Lady Grey to here and then have to go over the wall, that must be absolutely heartbreaking. Well, having done it myself, I know it's quite something.
Worst part of the route, the dirt road. The dirt road past Edge Hill.
Once you hit the gravel road on the way to Edge Hill.
It's definitely the jeep track between Edge Hill and the turn.
On the jeep track basically from the other side of the wall. The road section from Edge Hill. It's just a slog, that gradual gradient that you've got. You feel you have to run because it's on a road.
Kind of a bit boring and monotonous, and it gets quite hot.
Hitting that so far into the race, purely because it's a flat gravel road and you're supposed to move fast, and in your head you are moving fast. You look down at your legs and you're realizing that you're walking or barely just almost jogging.
That goes on forever and ever and ever. I don't enjoy dirt road at all. I like everything that goes up and down, but I don't enjoy the flats.
When you put me on a road, it just breaks me mentally, and this is always the part where people catch up with me, and I really have to dig deep to drop them again up on Bridle Pass.
Don't you hurt me. I come from the places you, brother, took my penny from me with a try.
My favourite section is the climb up the Bridle Pass.
I love going up to Bridle Pass.
I really enjoy the Bridle Pass and up along to the turnaround.
It's an awesome single track, real mountaineering feeling, and you know that this is your last really big climb.
I fall down when you're mine. I get up and you're a stranger. Out of sight, out of mind, no wanting to surrender. We put up a good fight for deer in a headlight, like a moth to a spark, catching fire before it ever